Hello and welcome, my name's Tech, CTO at DVS, and today we're going to take a look at the new Generation 2 Villa Intercom station from Hikvision. Firstly, I want to say a big thank you to wherever you are in the world. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're still learning. Please follow our content on YouTube, our webinars, etc. If you've got any suggestions, webinar@dvs.co.uk. But today we're going to take a look at the brand new Generation 2 Villa Intercom. So most of you are very familiar with our modular intercom system. That's been out for over a year now. It's proved very, very popular, always being added to and adapted and improved. But today we're going to take a look at the new Villa setup. So what I've got here is the Villa kit. So this is a one channel call station, an indoor station, and a PoE switch. What you'll notice with the new Villa Gen 2 stuff, it's moved away from the 24 volt passive PoE. It's now standard PoE like the modular intercom, so it makes it very, very easy to fit into a modern day system. I've also got the back box and a 4-channel just to show you the comparison here. So what you get in the kit itself, you don't have to buy it as a kit format. You can buy these as individual components, but it's just easier for me to show you it this way. So inside the box, we have a bag with a screwdriver, some screws, the plastic lugs that click in the back of the intercom itself, the alarm inputs, outputs, relays, power control, etc. You've got the master enrollment card. Again, don't lose that, they always come. You get a master enrollment card, it allows you to badge it once, enroll the cards and badge to finish. If you lose that, we can't replace it, or it's very difficult to replace. Okay, so don't lose that. The best way is to enroll cards through IVMS 4200. That way you've always got a record of it, and if you lose a card, it's very easy to replace. So you get this lovely little small Villa intercom station. So it's got the camera here, built-in reader, standard Hikvision MyFair 1K procs. You've got your LCD panel, not LCD panel, it's a backlit panel which you can write text on. You've got your call button there, to one button call with a camera, and then you've got your indicators to say call initiated, door open, or actually in call. On the back of the unit, you can see there, as the camera focuses, you've got your 2 lug positions that click in there with a standard RJ45 for the standard PoE, and you've got alarm inputs, RS45, power, and the lock controls. There's 2 lock outputs on this as well, so like the modular, we can now control 2 outputs. Fully compatible with Hike Connect, the app as well, and it's backward compatible with some of the other intercom equipment we sell. So a really small intercom station in comparison to the modular, obviously a lot smaller, and we do this in a 1, 2, and 4 button variation. Again, they can support 1 master station and up to 8 slaves, so you can have one of these as a master and then the others will talk to this, and then many indoor stations. So that's fine. What else do I want to say? Okay, let's move on to the next bit. So inside the box we've also got a indoor station. So again, very familiar design to the existing range. On the back you've got the connections, the fly leads, the RJ45 standard PoE, and again, we already sell this. This is the DS-KH6320-WTE1. That's a separate component that we sell anyway, but in the kit format you get one of these, and you can add more of these as extensions. You get the mounting back plate for the indoor station, so you screw that to the wall and that slides on, and then in the box you get a surface mount bracket that screws into that quite simply. Okay, you get a power cord, obviously we're in the UK, and we also get a small PoE switch. So the PoE switch that comes in there is designed to run not only the outdoor station but the indoor station, and then with a connection out to your network. So again, it's a Hikvision PoE switch, so both devices connect into here along with your connection into the existing router or network, which allows the Hike Connect functionality. So we're going to quickly set this up by my laptop, use IVMS 4200 to set the system up, and we'll go from there. So that's the kit format. Very quickly, what we've also got is a 4-channel unit as well. So again, the 4-channel unit is exactly the same size, same format. This is the rain shield, separate component. which effectively bolts in like that. So we've got an external rain shield if you want one, and that's it. Okay, so stay tuned and we'll see you in a minute on the setup. Okay, and welcome. So we have fitted the devices now. One thing you'll know is, so I've activated them, put my passwords in, set the IP address that matches the IP address range that I want. One thing you'll notice is the outdoor stations, the new Villa 2nd generation outdoor stations, they actually support the web browser function. Now the indoor stations, you still need to use IMS 4200, so I've added my 2 devices there. So technically I can still use IMS 4200 and it will actually work as normal. But you'll notice now, instead of opening the SDK interface like it does on the older intercom or the modular intercom, it now opens a web browser interface. So it's actually quite simple to now set these up. Still carries all of the same functionality basically as the modular intercom setup. So you can leave a voicemail. Effectively, the indoor station is part of the Gen 2 setup anyway. So you can leave voicemails. You've got the access control functionality. You've got 2 lock outputs. You've got standard PoE. You've got SIP support now on the Gen 2 Villa. You've got, which I'll show you shortly, there's a whole host of features that you can now make use of that makes it a really powerful product in my opinion. So we've web browsed into the product, so I'm just going to log in. So what you'll see, if I press live view down here, that's the outdoor station behind me there. So hello everybody. Obviously time and date I've synced that. So pretty simple. You can stream this to an NVR DVR also. The camera inside the product can be easily added to a Hikvision DVR or NVR. Absolutely no problem. It's a 2 megapixel 1080p image, 25 frames a second. Organizational structure. Now, wait for this to load. You can see that I've only added 1 person, my own personal card. So the more people that you add into this, enroll into the system, you'll see that there's the card number and these are the actual details of that person. Now, we don't have the fingerprint capability or the face capability on these stations, but obviously our other products do. Going into configuration. So first off, starter system. So this is the model number here, and this today is the latest firmware as of this morning, which I updated it. It needed an update out of the box. I would always suggest that you do look at the Hikvision portal and download the relevant firmware, not only for the outdoor station, but the indoor station. So please do that. You can actually select the language that you want to use. I can only speak English, and that's at best. But if you speak any of these languages or you need to change it for your customer, select that language and click save. The unit generally reboots and it will be presented in the language of your selected in that thing there. Time settings. Now we've got the NTP, or I've just synced it with the PC to keep them in sync, but you can do NTP sync as well. DST, and we also support RS485. Now we do it for card reader, access control, security model, elevator control, or disable. So we do the secure module support. For those of you that want to use the secure module, off the RS485, you run that, put that inside, and the lock output for the door is controlled off the secure module, which then if somebody removes the unit from the wall outside, vandalizes it, they can't open the door via the lock output directly, because the lock output is controlled by the secure module, which is located on the secure side. We do the elevator control and also card reader support. So you choose which one and choose the working mode. Okay, simple. Maintenance, you've got the reboot, update, etc., and then you use the management online and then arming, disarming. So you can see some general stuff of the who's connected to it. Is me. I've connected to it and I've got it connected via web browser and also by the IMS 4200. Moving on to network. So the web browser structure is very similar to NVR, DVR, IP cameras. If you know that, you should be able to navigate around. So you set the IP address details. I already set that via the SADP tool, but again, further set that as required. Your ports. So the web port by default is 80, which is what we're using, but feel free to change that. Obviously, we also support Wi-Fi, but you input the SSID and then password and then the security mode there. The indoor stations also support Wi-Fi. I would probably suggest hardwiring this over Wi-Fi unless the Wi-Fi is stable and strong in those areas. But again, it is an option if that's what you require. And obviously now you can see we've got SIP support. So you can enable the VoIP gateway, fill those details in there. We use a cloud SIP service, so I can't enable that. I plan to buy one to test, a basic one, but it does support SIP now in the second gen, just like the modular does. Under advanced settings, you've got the FTP, so you can enable FTP, and then it'll actually save snapshots of the people. As people walk up to the unit and press the button, those can be saved in an FTP folder, which could be on-site or off-site for security reasons, but it also can save it in the indoor station. If you put an SD card into the indoor station, they can actually save those images there also. And you can give it some basic details around the picture naming rules, etc. You've got other, which is the master station IP address. So that's either the IVMS 4200 software, if you wanted to call the IVMS 4200 software, or the indoor station with the phone, which we call a concierge phone, so you can have a private conversation. So not only can you call a indoor station, you can also call a master station, which is either the software based or the Villa indoor station with the handset. SIP server address details, center IP address, and center port number. We don't use the center stuff here, but you can use that, if required, and that is applicable in your setup. Video and audio, like I already said, the video is 1080p, it's H.264, and you can adjust some parameters there. The video and audio would be recorded if you added it to a Hikvision NVR DVR. Audio stream, or the audio settings, you can select or adjust the audio input volumes, output volumes, and speaker volume. I've just turned it up, so when I test it, that you can hear it on here. The default level is 7, and that's generally fine for most applications. Now, under image, we can set some general, whether we have WDR enabled, some brightness, contrast, etc. And then we have OSD, so we can name the text, drag it around, and adjust the format. Pretty straightforward. Event, we support motion events, so that can be pushed to, you can see there, linkage action, notify surveillance center, so that'll be the software or the app, no email, etc. And then you've got access control event, so we've got tampering alarm, or door event is door open timed out, so the door basically is not being closed if you connect a door contact to it, and again notify the software or the app. Now intercom is where you do the actual setup of the intercom itself. So it's a Villa door station, and you set those parameters. So this is a one-to-one system, but again, the unit number, the Villa door station is 0 for the master station, and then 1 to 8. 1 to 8 if it's a substation called in use with the master station. So we can support 1 master station and then 8 substations set up. So like 8 gates potentially if you've got a big property and you've got 8 entrances or exits. And you can fill those details in that match the application. But again, 0 is the master, and then subs are 1 to 99. But we support 8 subs on this setup currently. Elevator control, access control, and elevator control. Now I did say it has 2 door relays on there. So door 1 and door 2. So you basically select the door relay times here, so each one can be set independently, and you can also give it a name. Elevator control, if you're using an elevator control module, you need to enable that in the RS485. Then you enable elevator control and set those parameters here. So it's selecting elevator 1, 2, 3, 4, what the elevator control is and how it's connected. Again, we're not using elevator control here. We don't have an elevator to do it. And I don't know anybody in the UK that has done that. Maybe some of you outside of the UK have done that. I'd love to hear from you if you have. Once you've set those parameters, click Save. You can also issue cards. So the cards look like this. So our Hikvision 1 MyFair 1K Prox cards. I can simply click Issue Card. Scan that card on the card reader or multiple cards. Click Issue Card, completed. And then that closes it down. So it's a really simple way of enrolling the cards into the unit via the web browser. I've already enrolled this card. So we'll test that shortly. Input and output. So again, if you're connecting, you've got 4 inputs and 2 outputs. If you're connecting things like the door status, well, they're already set. Input 1, door status. Input 2 is disable or door status again. Input 3, because it could obviously 2 doors. Exit button. and then door 4 would be exit button. So you've got 2 doors, and they can each have an exit button and a door monitoring status. And by default, the exit button and door status are enabled for door 1. So again, quite powerful as a 2-door system even. And then you've got output 1 and output 2, and they're both set to electric lock. They are relays on the back, so you'd use a battery backed up PSU to control the actual lock itself. You wouldn't draw the power from the access video intercom unit directly. It's a relay that you would interface into an existing power supply that would be battery backed up, for instance. Time parameters, so maximum call duration is 90 seconds and the maximum message duration is 30 seconds, but adjust as necessary. Ringback tone, again, you can import ringback tones if you like. The default one, I just stick with the default ones. But again, it says it needs to be less than 600 kilobytes, sample rate 800, etc. on a WAV file. But you can import it if it matches it if you wanted to change the ringback tone. Press the call button. Again, if you've got SIP, so if you've got the 1, 2, or 4 button units here, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed down there depending on the unit. We're only using the 1 button call station, but you can actually input the SIP details here and the call management there. So the call management would ring the IVMS 4200 software or the concierge phone, but you can actually make it call SIP phones and it will actually call them in sequence if you've got that set up. Pretty straightforward. Again, we do have a little bit of a help manual there that you can briefly look at, but again, it's quite a simple setup. If you use IVMS 4200, the setup is the same because it opens up the web browser, but effectively you can use the wizard on the indoor station and set this up, or you can use a web browser or IVMS 4200. It doesn't really matter, but it becomes very powerful when you can all of a sudden web browse into an intercom to sort of set this up, and it is very, very simple. The only thing you do need to do within IVMS 4200 currently is add the indoor station, like I said. And then when we go into the setup, you've got the normal setup for the indoor stations. Again, you can adjust all of these for indoor and indoor extensions, etc., because each indoor station can support 5 extension units. And again, all of the parameters that match there. Each indoor station on the Gen 2 has 2 relays. So the core link is you can actually trigger 2 relays. So an incoming call to the unit, you can activate relay 1, relay 2, or both. What that would do then would allow you to take that to maybe a loudspeaker or a flashing beacon if they're hard of hearing, which should alert the person to there's an incoming call on the indoor station, which they can take. So it becomes really powerful. Ring import, volume output, input, IP camera information, so we can actually add in again our IP cameras or NVR DVR support directly, so it's quite simple. So I can simply add, you got camera, streaming mode direct, so you literally add in device name, NVR, for instance, IP address 192.168.3.40, port number is 554, username is admin, password channel number 1, then you've got height protocol or ONVIF, click on OK, and then that would add that in. It's as simple as that really, and you just basically go through and add that in. What else is there? Permission passwords, zone alarms. If you connect in alarm devices to the indoor station, that would then alert the app itself. So we've got like smoke sensors, door sensors, active infrared. So it becomes sort of a mini home security system, although it's not really designed to be an alarm system. But again, you can start building on this. And then you've got your network settings. The only thing you do need to do is under linked network configuration is input the, again, if you wanted to call this IVMS 4200 software or a concierge phone, you input those details. But the only thing you do need to input within 4200 is the main door station IP address. You can also do that on the front end of the indoor station. So if you don't have IVMS 4200 installed, you can technically do it through the indoor station, so it makes it quite powerful. And set the door type to Villa, not D series. It's a V series, which is the D series. Other than that, very simple. Default of height connector is already there, and then you can set your verification code. We just go back. So open up the main view, the camera view of this the Villa call station, and you can see I've got 2 relays there, so I can actually trigger those relays directly from here. If I go and use my card here that I programmed in earlier, That should open the door. Look.
The door is open.
So you can see that card open the door. If I ring, you can see the system behind me, the indoor station. So if I ring this, I can answer the call or open one of the two doors directly, and then hang the call up. Another great feature with the intercom, the actual voicemail, is if I press the button, after 10 seconds, this should go to 15 seconds. It'll go to a voicemail. It'll allow me to leave a small voicemail where I can receive that when I get back to my property. Just let that time out. I may have left that as 30 seconds, I apologise.
Leave a message.
There we go. I did leave it as 30 seconds. So we'll hang up on that. So then that voicemail would be, applicable. So I get back to my property and I can listen to a voicemail. It could be a missed delivery or a friend has called in. So again, it becomes a really powerful system. Other than that, the only thing I would like to say past that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Oh, the Hike Connect. So let me just get the Hike Connect up. Okay, so I have connected the Hike Connect app now. So I've got my phone here ready. So let me just unlock it. I'll initiate the call. So press the call button now. You'll see it's come up already. Answer that call. Yes. Hello. Let me turn that off. You can see that I've got the door control.
The door is open. The door is open.
So both doors can be controlled through the app there. Nice video. And then hang up when you finish. So other than that, that's all I wanted to show you. I hope you got a good understanding of how the new Villa, second gen Villa can be implemented, what it can do, and how it can be useful to you. Any questions, please ask. Stay safe wherever you are. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our content on YouTube. Stay safe, stay tuned, and see you next week for another how-to video. Thanks, guys.